What is up, everyone? The World Championships have officially announced their structure for the tournament, and it's a little bit weird. So, if you're competing or you're a spectator at home, I'm going to walk through the World Championship website with you guys, a little bit of the new stuff in it, what this World Championship structure means, or what I think it means, I guess. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, the World Championships are the final tournament of the year. It's the big culmination. But today, the website was updated for in-person info, tournament info, special guests, etc., etc. So, if you go to the tournament in-person info, you now see that we have the world's location. I think this is already up for a little bit. We have the Pokemon Center World Store with the plushie revealed. It's absolutely adorable. Huge fan of this. We have the schedule as well. If you click on this, you can see here that Friday will kick off the opening ceremony. Event hall opens at 8. The opening ceremony is about 9. So if you're trying to get good seats for the opening ceremony, I would recommend showing up at 8 on the dot or like early as possible to get through the doors. If you're a competitor and you really don't care about the opening ceremony, which I don't know why you wouldn't, I think it's one of the coolest things ever. You get to come to the venue and sit down, by 9:30, by the opening ceremony, be there, whatever, right? If you make it to the second day of competition for your individual game, you'll come back and jam out another couple rounds into Top Cut. And then Sunday will be Championship Sunday with the grand finals kicking off with Pokemon Go, into the TCG finals for all divisions, into the VGC finals for all divisions, and then the closing ceremony where we will presumably get the information for the following season for the World Championships, right? Cool. All things nice and dandy. There's going to be a bunch of activities at the Hilton Hawaii Village campus. Free activities include photo ops, Pokemon meet and greets, live broadcasts, and more from Thursday to Sunday. And there are probably more activities here as they get confirmed and populated. I'm sure there are some logistical issues to figure out on their end, and we are still 2 months out. So here is what we all care about. There is going to be the festival of a tournament. There's going to be a competitor registration thing, which competitors should get an email in the next coming weeks. It's a very simple email. It'll basically just be like, hey, Rahul, you've qualified for the World Championships. Congratulations from everyone here at Pokemon. You're the bomb. Something like that, And then there'll be a little bit of information packet for those who want to just read that. Will probably be pretty nice. And then it'll just take you to an individualized Arcanine link, which will then just confirm your attendance to the main event. Simple. Nothing crazy. It's already your spot. You're not losing it. So here is the info for each game. We are trading card games. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. Qualification. The qualification structure for each region has been listed. If you guys want the information on how many people qualified from what region, Cora actually put together an amazing spreadsheet for me, and so I will have that up and running sometime this week to make an incredible video for you guys about the people who have qualified from each individual region and what that means and how big this World Championships is. Spoiler, it is the biggest World Championships to date, or the most players qualified to a World Championships per date. So here is where it gets weird. The number of Swiss rounds are determined by attendance with junior, senior, and master division players, split between 2 days. So if there are 128 players, which is, I think, a little bit low, there'll be 8 total rounds. 6 on day 1, 2 on day 2. 256, between 129 and 256, 9 total rounds, with 7 on day 1 and 2 on day 2. 257 to 512, 10 on day 1, or 8 on day 1, 2 on day 2. 513 to 1024, 8 on day 1, 3 on day 2. And the more likely scenario is either the 1024 one or the 1025 to 2048 one is 8 rounds day 1, 4 rounds day 2. Which is weird because that's like a Swiss -3 given at individual regionals, because once we hit that 800 person threshold, it triggers the 15th round typically. But now we are playing a weirder tournament where now ties are valued significantly lower in the grand scope of things, and we also have a day 3 threshold. It's not 6-2-1, it's just 6-2. And 18 match points will advance you to day 2, almost certainly to this World Championships. But if somehow we have less than 256 people, which won't happen, it'll be 5-2 and then 4-2 as well. So it's the same as the old Worlds where you had to go X2 in day 1 to advance to day 2. But your record carries with you, it looks like. And we're basically playing an additional couple of rounds of Swiss. In addition, we will then compete in a top 8 bracket, but there will be an asymmetric cut. What is an asymmetric cut? That means that if there are people with the same number of match points as 8th place, so let's say 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th are all the same match points as 8th, 8th and 9th will play for their spot, 7th and 10th will play for the spot, 6th and 11th will play for their spot, which will just become a single elimination bracket. It's just basically, like, it'll bracket out the exact same way I just mentioned. And it's basically saying there's a buffer for up to 32. So if 8th through 32nd all have the same match points, we will then just be seeding into a single elimination top cut bracket of top 32. Now with TCG, I don't believe this will actually be the case. I think we have ties, which makes this a highly improbable. So to make top cut, you almost certainly need a record of 9-1-1 or 10-1-1, or 9-2. 9-2 is probably bubble. In this scenario, you have to still do very, very, very well at this tournament. Coming into day 2 at 6-2, and then having to win 3 rounds still is a potential chance that the tournament is out of your hands. You're basically playing for top 32 or maybe an asymmetric bubble cut at that point. But X11 is the record you're probably looking for to make top 8 and potentially win the World Championships. So you can afford 1 tie and 1 loss, but a majority of players need to understand that day 1 ties are akin to losses. Like once you have your first tie, everything past that is a tie is a, like another tie would put you at a 503 bracket potentially and get your 18 match points that way. But once you have a loss, a tie is basically meaningless for your day 1. Like you can go X11 and sure, like move on to the next day, but it's better to probably gentlemen's in those situations because it is just nicer to advance or have someone advance further with more match points. Juniors and seniors will have a lunch break. Everyone else gets nothing. Tough to these guys. Like it is what it is. Registration will be coming up soon. Whatever. Cool thing for everyone is that 8 a.m. Friday will be deckless submission as opposed to the typical day 1 players had to submit on Thursday. But basically, yeah, just 8 a.m. Friday, so everyone gets a night to sleep on it, figure out what you want to do. Check-in and badge pickup will be Thursday, August 15th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Hilton Hawaii Coral Ballroom. I think you should go get your badges and swag early because there's always been, this is a big time frame, by the way. Usually it's like 4 to 7 or 4 to 8. But I think it's always better to go early and get your stuff out of the way because there's always some sort of issues with kits every year. Either people are bad people and try to take more than one kit here and there, take advantage. People try to steal, like a lot of stuff happens. So just try to go early, get your kit, make sure you don't miss out on your swag. And then you have the rest of Thursday to chill out. Like maybe you wake up for breakfast on Thursday, have your hotel's continental breakfast, depending on where you are. Go drop by the Hilton Hawaii Village, go pick up your swag and your badge, and then you're good to go for the rest of Thursday. You can just chill out, figure out what you want to do. Prizes are here. World Championship pricing is pretty crazy, actually. It's a big up from last year, with the number 1 prize pool being 50K into 30, into 20, into 15, into 10, into 5. So top 32 is still a pretty respectable placement for the season. And then you have travel awards for each region. That's something that I've already talked about in the past. And then there's additional prizing as well with stamped cards, stamped mats, yada, yada, etc. But that's basically it. One last thing I wanted to bring up before we top this video out. There's special guests and stuff as well. This was something I did notice is the Pokemon World Store. Last year in Yokohama, Japan, competitors were allowed to go to the World Store at their own discretion because of a kind of a privilege granted to competitors. But this year, competitors do not get a individual reservation, it looks like, to go to the Pokemon World Store. It looks like competitors have to kind of vie for the lottery like everyone else this year. Obviously, I don't think it'll be much of a problem, because I think that in the grand scheme of things, there's going to be a lot less people vying for these slots. And then, yeah, simple as that. So you can go to the center without a badge. So you can go just buy stuff and get out even if you don't get a spectator badge, whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of it. And there's more info. There's more stuff in each of these things. You guys can read through them and figure it out as well. Me personally, I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's my first Hawaii World. Should be a lot of fun. And as more information rolls out, I'll keep you guys updated. And thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. And this was maybe a little bit more informative than before. So peace out.